CFM Radio.
Triumph or die! Go for it, man!
Go for it, man. It's CFM Radio.
Yo, yo. CFM Radio back at it again.
CFM Radio.
Evening for video game music and news.
Video game music and news. Drix, how are you tonight on this Wednesday evening?
Dude, doing great. Had a, moderately successful pinball league night this Monday. And, of course, playing the 3 Time Splitters games that I bought for $7.50.
Awesome.
And enjoying the new Dota 2 map because there was a big patch.
Whoa, map.
Right when you think, as soon as you think you know Dota, they go ahead and shake things up on you. So,
whoa.
Always keeping things interesting.
A MOBA getting a new map is a huge deal. Like, I will never forget, because, okay, so in League of Legends, right? League of Legends famously, Summoner's Rift. Like,
yes.
So, and pretty much every MOBA, right? If you play MOBAs, it doesn't really matter. I've started playing Honor of Kings. I've played League. I've played Dota. You pretty much only have one map. And there's a very good reason for it. It's because it's a competitive game. And the biggest variable in the competitive game, like Dota or League that you want, is just the hero variety, right? Like, there's a billion
the angle behind the crate or upstairs or on the bomb site or...
Yeah. Like, no.
This is the spot where I throw my grenade for the Call of Duty trick shot that goes to the other enemy spawn or whatever. Like, no.
Not at all.
Where are the creeps?
Yeah, where's the creeps? Where's the secret shop? I need to know where red buff is, blue buff is, where's the tyrant? Like, I need
money and I need to know how to spend it.
Exactly. I need to know what items and when. So, it's very crucial for all these games to have their information up front. Famously, one of the devs, I think for League of Legends, when confronted with why don't you make another map other than Summoner's Rift? No one likes Summoner's Rift. He said, hey, listen, we have a 3v3 map for 3v3, and we have Summoner's Rift.
Ooh.
Would you want 2 maps with 100 different heroes where you need to take into account all their different angles, all their different abilities that go through these 2 maps? How would you even equate those 2 maps? So I get it so that's why I say a new map in Dota is wild. Like, that really does shake things up.
Only Nuketown, only dust.
Only dust.
Just only dust.
Only dust. AK-47s, dust. No flash. Stop. I lag. Stop lagging me.
Yeah, go knives with me, bro.
But hey man, that's pretty sweet. Was there anything else that you might have been playing that caught your eye?
Well, I'm stoked for some more WrestleQuest.
Absolutely.
This Monday, the March 3rd.
March 3rd? Yeah. Already March. Fuck.
Yep, the Ides of March are upon us.
Indeed.
And, I haven't picked up Dynasty Warriors or Monster Hunter yet.
Oh, Monster Hunter comes out soon. We're going to be talking about that in our new game releases. It's not quite out yet.
Yeah, but this could be the week that it ends up on new releases, so stay tuned.
Stay tuned. And, me, guys, I don't know if anybody caught the grind live, but I raged. It was fucked up.
Good.
It was awful. But you know what? We did crawl a little bit back, but guys, you got to tune in for the next grind because we really need to buckle down. We really need to get in there. I need to get into Diamond. I don't know why it's taking me this long. Guys, I'm fucking playing Overwatch on my off time, and I've almost got all my roles in gold. Tank, I'm almost out of gold. I'm almost fucking platinum tank. But I'm over here in Marvel Rivals dying all the time. I don't know what the hell is going on. So we'll figure it out. It'll be okay. You just got to tune in and make sure you're checking it out. And all of this, WrestleQuest, Marvel Rivals, all of these moments that you might... Hell, there are sometimes we even do game previews. and like
Yeah.
challenge runs, retro replays. RPG Theater right now is WrestleQuest, but most of the time it's retro RPGs. All that stuff, guys. Gameplay, it doesn't happen over here on YouTube. It happens over on our Twitch, twitch.tv/CFM on Twitch. Go follow us over there if you haven't already. You really need to.
Spread the love over, the rest of the internet.
Because over here, it's just the video game music and news. And you know what, Drakes? I got to tell you, the thing that I was playing most over the time that I have not, over since I've last talked to you, over that time, has been a lot of betas.
Yeah, last week was real review heavy as far as not as much news as you might expect in a regular show, but this week is a lot of impressions. So
Yes.
get ready for some up and coming, not quite released yet, concepts and ideas.
And I'm not gonna lie, it's a little top heavy for us this week. I'm gonna be telling you about Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, and I'm gonna be telling you about Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Before we jump into the new releases of the week, take a short break for those, and then Drix, he's gonna hit you with the stuff he's been checking out in the Steam Next Fest.
Yeah, got deep into one, and maybe a couple other interesting demos that I might recommend from the selection of free tastes, free samples available on Steam.
And don't worry, folks. Drix might not have gotten to play a lot of. Guys, listen. There's like 1 billion demos on there, right? And like, we can't get to them all now, but we'll come back next week with a little bit more of a refined take on some of these Steam Next Fest things. I personally didn't get to play any of them, so
Yeah.
I was playing Fatal Fury all weekend, and then before that was Sonic during the week. So like. So here we go. It was that kind of a crazy like mishmash
Happenings in the gaming.
Yeah. Very, 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 very fun times I had with both games, but it sounds like you had a lot of fun too. But I gotta say, really quick before we jump into all of the gaming goodness, Drix, this crazy super spy thriller groove, what are we listening to?
Oh man, it's kind of a Super Nintendo blues jam from Waterworld. So yeah, we're being thrilled, all right. But Waterworld on the Super Nintendo. This is the song is called Attack One, because I dive down to the ocean and I grab some sand. I take it to the surface and I sell it as dry land. I got the blues.
We got the blues, Super Nintendo style. CFM Radio will be back.
Some people don't care to get up again, but I won't spend my whole life philosophizing. I just take what's mine and want it. Destiny be damned. You and I, the wolves are free to run, ignoring all the signs. Jump their lies, crossing over, join together, headlines. When I will it be is done on time, and the alpha of the back will hit again. Yeah, I know I'm running the circle of time. Undecided, fading to irrelevance. Yeah, in our hearts and our veins, starting action. They can't contain anymore. We can't escape. Faded soul in your mind. Do you really know what you want to get out from this? From this hell, you can't escape. Faded soul, they are designed deep in your mind. Running the circle of time, undecided, fading to irrelevance. Yeah, in our hearts and our veins, starting action. They can't contain. They can't
CFM Radio, welcome back.
So we mentioned we're going to talk about Fatal Fury City of the Wolves next. Well, that last song was the main theme, and I think we just made a Final Fantasy VII Remake AMV right now out of that
Right?
one.
That was awesome. Perfect. And we might have Kingdom
Right now.
Come right now, but we've got City of the Wolves B-roll coming at you. Oh, hold on. Technical difficulties.
As well as some Dr. Mario and Tetris on the Super Nintendo. The
Gotta love it.
the quote-unquote chill song, not to be confused with Fever. Mario should have became a,
Hey, listen, Dr. Mario has such an iconic soundtrack and like feel. Like no one can be mad
Yeah.
about Dr. Mario. Like,
Yeah, I don't care how long it took him to go from being a plumber to having his doctorate, you know? When he's just hucking pills at you, you just take his word for it. As long as you match him up and get rid of the virus.
it should be all good. Damn, hold on. I'm sorry, guys. I'm having a little bit of rough times with this stupid Garo stuff. Double check.
It's too good.
It's just too good. It's really just too good. And you know what, guys? I gotta say, because it was a pretty great game, that's probably what is indeed happening. Oh man, my stuff might have gotten corrupted. Hold on.
Boo. We can hang out with Dr. Mario for a bit, though.
Oh, totally corrupted. Hold on. Really quick.
We need this puzzle soundtrack to solve this puzzle.
Ooh, I know what the problem is. I know exactly what the problem is. There we go. All right, there's Gargaru. So, Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves. Hey, listen. I gotta tell you, Drix. I love this game.
Yeah, you're quite the fighting game guy, but we did a bit of there were some articles leading into this release and betas that they're testing out for the server capacity right now, but it looked stylish, and we were discussing a couple cool new like mechanics that don't feel common in fighting games quite yet.
And especially when you get your hands on the game, Drix, it really feels different, especially from the games that we have today. It's like, for reference, you have Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8 are both games that really focus on offense. They really want to dominate. They really want you to dominate your opponent with drive rush and drive impact, and your heat gauge and your drive gauge, and you're using your cancels into crazy big combos. And defense almost takes a back seat in a lot of these times. A lot of the times, the defense in, like, let's say a game like Street Fighter 6, more so doesn't necessarily boil down to your blocking. It necessarily boils down to your movement and like whether or not you can land the parry in time, just to make sure. Blocking in like a lot of the times, just straight up blocking in today's fighting game landscape is bad. You need to be proactively doing something all the time. Well, I'm glad to say that in Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, it's not that blocking is back, but blocking isn't back in the way that you might think. It's the game itself just feels really good to play. I don't think anybody who has played a lot of current generation fighting games will say that when you get your hands on this game, Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, that this isn't one of the more well thought out combat systems in fighting games today. There's a lot of great offensive options to lay on solid pressure. You've got a lot of it makes its return from the original Garu Mark of the Wolves game. You have your it's now called SPG, but it originally was called TOP, T-O-P, and you have a SPG area. If you're watching the show right now, you can see on your life bar, the SPG starts flashing gold when you're in it, and it's like a cool blue before your life bar hits that area. In that area, you're able to do this little attack that I'm doing. My character flashes green, the girl. She'll flash green. Hotaru flashes green, and it's a SPG attack. Originally called the top attack. Now, so it's very familiar if you played the game back in the day, which was an interesting feeling for me because I did. But it's the way that this game takes all of those things. Just defense, which is literally tapping back to block right before you get hit. And it gives you, to give you a little bit more advantage on defense, and you gain a little bit of life back. It's also the only way to block in the air. Yeah.
Like life.
Yeah, you get a little bit of it back. It's actually, it happens in this one too. I might be getting a little ahead of myself, but when you're in the SPG, one of the main things about the SPG is you can pick where you put it before the match. You could put it at the top of your life bar, in the middle of your life bar, or at the end of your life bar. And one of the deeper levels of strategy in Garu, and even in this game now, is understanding that little bit of life gain. That little bit of life gain, if you can play around in that SPG and non-SPG area, let's say you just lost SPG, but you lost it by like a pixel. You could get a just defend and go back into SPG.
Yeah, it's like the one thing that your opponent kind of doesn't.
Yeah. It's also, you could also chalk it up to really rewarding game sense, right? Really rewarding the player, the keen-eyed player, and the player who really is focusing on the tempo of the game. And I gotta
gamer sense.
Yes, and I've got to tell you, this game, we're going to get into the meat of it right now. You're seeing the command list for good old Terry Bogard here. Very familiar, but this game, Drix, is all tempo. You do not go, it's all footsies in tempo. You do not go into Fatal Fury City of the Wolves thinking that it's Street Fighter 6, thinking that it's Tekken 8. The only real game that I can compare this game to is like Under Night in Birth. Really? Or like, because it feels old school, but the decidedly new school features are very nice in that. So the combo system is quite simple. It's a 4-button or a 5-button SNK style system. A, B, C, D. Light punch, light kick, heavy punch, heavy kick, and then you have your rev attack. Originally, in the old school days, it was called a blow off, but it's the new thing. It's like the new hotness, and it marries this idea with the rev meter. So Street Fighter 6 introduced the idea of the drive meter, and that's what, instead of using your super meter for your EX moves, now you use your drive meter, and you can deplete that, right, and go into burnout, right?
Tight.
You know, like, because you played Street Fighter 6, right? You know burnout mode.
Yeah, call a meter. Like I need it when I need it.
When I need
I
it.
want to get it.
Fatal Fury, a lot of people, you'll hear a lot of fighting game heads, like FGC heads, say, oh man, they like really ripped off Drive. And, you know, I can see where you're coming from, but I really think that it's just a little bit more strategic, mainly because of the really simplified combo system. The combo system is, again, Street Fighter 6-esque in that you're going to be hitting like light button to heavy button to move, special move, right?
Yeah.
But instead of giving you this kind of like, all right, now it's time to buffer this drive rush, and now within this window, you can do another string that ends in another move. No. We're not doing that in Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. We're doing button into move, and then you do. This is where the layer begins. When you do your move, you could either do a rev move, the equivalent of an EX move.
Yes.
And if you do your combo with a rev move, you can continue the combo just by doing another rev move.
Huh. Okay.
So like,
Paint 'em.
yeah, so like literally think burn knuckle into power wave into rising tackle.
Yes. Which should be the goal in life.
Yes, exactly. So 100%. So and there's no like weird buffer system like, hey man, I'm gonna like run at you first for a minute and then like do a little bit of like another round of strings. Nah, we're just gonna do a big explosive combo, and it's gonna look awesome, and it's gonna feel good to pull off, because it does. Mainly because even though it's simple, there's a lot of variation. They kept a lot of the moves on a lot of the classic characters. I think there was 7 characters you could play as. I didn't get to play as all of them, but I got to play as Hotaru, Futaba, Terry Bogard, and Mai Shiranui. Mai is a new character to Garu, but not to Fatal Fury. And Terry and Hotaru are returning.
Yeah, as they should.
And
you mean Terry Bogard, that guy from Smash Brothers?
Yeah, Terry Bogard from Smash Brothers. And you're seeing there are other familiar faces right now. Funny you play this track because it is the track of B Jenny, and she is making her glorious return. You know, so there's a lot of these characters do retain their robust movesets. A lot of these characters had a lot of moves in the original game, like a long move list. That means your combo diversity can be really different. Yes, nailed the mix, Drix music, and so you can really this really comes into play. The variety comes into play because other old school systems from Garu come in, such as the feint system. So in a lot of situations, special moves aren't really safe to do when your opponent is blocking. Especially in this game, both super moves and special moves are very, very, very unsafe feeling. There are maybe 2 moves in total, and I played against I played against every character, and I played as 3 characters. Mai had 1 move that felt safe on block, and had 1 super that felt like I could throw it out there as something to end a cheeky block string with, or to like mind game somebody, like a knowledge check kind of thing. A lot of these moves, unless it's like a projectile or something like that, even some projectiles, honestly.
You go in, it leaves you open. Man.
Yeah, it leaves you very, very open. But that's where the layer comes in. The feint system returns, so you can't, if you know your moves. Oh man, my opponent's blocking. I did a rev move. I'm gonna do another rev move, and then I'm gonna feint it, and it's gonna be safe on block.
Ah, yes.
So there's a lot of layers to what you can do. Feinting also, certain moves that you feint can also lead into just launchers. Like you just stop in the middle of the move and then the move just pops the guy up. Ooh. So you just continue, so there's a lot of room for a lot of combo expression in a deceptive way, because one of the interesting things about the rev meter that I think differentiates it from the drive meter is that, the drive meter kind of revolves around you either parrying or backing off to get it back, right? In Street Fighter 6.
Uh-huh.
In this game, Just Defense gives you back a little bit, like you're seeing it right now. We're both in overheat. That's essentially burnout. But burnout in this game is brutal. You can't do EX moves. You can't do long combos, and you don't have access to any rev attacks or skills. There's also a rev block that just ignores all chip damage and gives you a little bit better of a positioning, but you can't do it when you're overheated. But in order to counteract that, you land normal special moves, non-rev special moves. That's where the combo system really started opening up, especially as a character like Mai. I don't know if you're going to see it in this footage, but there were some combos that I ended up figuring out with Mai, where I could effectively do a rev combo, end the rev combo with a feint attack, pop them up, and it effectively resets your character's active status, and I could go into another rev combo.
Ooh, okay.
Or I could choose to cool myself down if I didn't want to overheat and just end my next combo on you in a regular special move and get a little bit of rev meter back.
Huh. Yeah, a lot of diversity, like you're freestyling mid action.
It's surprisingly freestyle, and it's really shocking for how simple of a combat system it is. But Drix, I gotta tell ya, it ain't all roses.
No, it can't be.
No, this is SNK.
Yeah. A little bit.
This is the B tier, right?
It's gotta show somewhere.
We love these guys, but they're not the greatest. And you know what? Unfortunately, Drix, this gameplay and this combat system is amazing, and I love it. For anybody out there who's like, oh man, all these new fighting games, all they do, you just run at your opponent, mash a bunch of buttons, win the game. I hope you're going to pick this game up.
Yeah, if you really want to see something different.
But again, not all roses. Drix, where this game really fails me is everything else.
Go on.
So here's the thing. And I heard Brian F on YouTube say this a little bit, and I gotta agree with him. It's kind of embarrassing to be a fighting game fan. because I'm just gonna use Marvel Rivals. Marvel Rivals comes out, free to play game, not super polished, but polished enough so that people can have fun. It remains active, and there's no crazy like lulls or like dull moments or things that like no asterisks, right? Like, hey, it's a great game, but you know,
Yeah, it really doesn't have that. Like,
there's
it's
so many.
your hero shooter with Marvel heroes.
There's so many butts in this game, Drix. The amount of asses is insane. Like, and I'm not talking sexy ones. I wish I was. I'm talking, this game feels like a fighting game from 2012 in the best and worst ways. Combat, great. Netcode, you know, I don't know if there's any more apt of a comparison than the only real game that really felt like this that I ever played in my life, and that was Blaze Blue Calamity Trigger, the first one, because that game had a really good netcode that was very responsive, but it kind of like resolved all lag right before the round started. So you had this like huge lag spike before the round began, and then the game played and it was pretty smooth, like all things considered.
Okay.
Fatal Fury City of the Wolves really, really has that kind of idea going for it. But I'm telling you, Drix, you might be seeing it in the B-roll. There were times where I literally waited like 4 or 5 Mississippis to get to round 2.
Huh. Between games, okay.
Not between games, between rounds. Round 2.
Yes, rounds.
Like,
Man. Bit of a queue you had to stand in there, huh?
yeah, like I would beat the guy round 1. Then 3 Mississippis later, we would start round 2.
Just let the net have its code.
Yeah. And you know what? That's an asterisk. Second asterisk. Yeah. The training mode and tutorial or lack thereof. Listen, I'm not gonna mince words. I played the crack.
What?
the beta got cracked. So you can play it if you want to. I'm not going to tell you how, but you can play it out there. And it has a lot of the quote-unquote retail features already baked in. So this game's pretty much done.
Oh. Yeah, you got a nice little test then.
Yeah, we got a nice little test. So the training mode is pretty bare bones. There are a couple of areas where you might have some more rooms for details and options, but I don't know.
Yeah.
The tutorial is pretty bad. I won't even mince words. It doesn't tell you all the systems.
Okay.
You still need
to the imagination.
Yeah, you still need to figure some out for yourself. It tells you some of the more important ones. Absolutely. It tells you about SPG. It tells you about rev moves. It even tells you about things like hyper defense, which is very, very important for this game when you play against people who really know how to mount a strong offense. It's like one of the more skillful things that you can do. But there are other things like, straight up throwing that the game doesn't tell you. There are it doesn't go into the rev system in depth at all. It's just like, hey, you'll eventually get into overheat, and like when you're in overheat, just keep fighting. And it's like, it doesn't tell you that when you land a super move in overheat that it gets rid of most of your overheat. It doesn't tell you that using special moves gets rid of a little overheat. It doesn't tell you anything like that. So for all you know, when you get into overheat for the first time, you're just like, oh shit, I'm fucked.
Oh no, it's Souls-like now.
Yeah, like, oh my god.
I guess we didn't have to tell you, or you should already know this from
you should.
Fighters.
Yeah, you know.
It's not like we haven't been making those since '95.
It tells you about short hops, but it doesn't. But running long jumps are in the game, and it doesn't tell you about those. It doesn't tell you about command running. You can hold down the rev button to run.
Huh.
So
Toggle
like,
it, huh? Why
yeah,
don't you?
it's pretty actually intuitive. Feels very Mortal Kombat 10-esque. Very cool. But again, you wouldn't know unless you started mashing buttons. Like, like
Okay.
so there's a lot to be desired, and really the nail in the coffin, I think, for a lot of casual players, honestly. You know, even if you, because the gameplay is fun. 100%.
Yeah.
The game itself, the core game is great. You know, visuals, whatever, look great in motion. Don't stare at a still for too long, but it looks great in motion. And like the core combat, and when you're having the action, it's great. But Drix, moving through the menu is slow.
What? All the action's great, but the menus are slow?
Dude, literally like half of Mississippi to get to the next option.
Okay. Well, I hopefully a bit of this we can chalk up to like
In a beta,
it's still
right?
a beta, like it's not done. This is the official release. Like these are just impressions based on the network test, you know. But
Right.
you never know. I mean,
Yeah.
as CFM Radio, you may or may not hear about this again later. Just gotta
So-
tune in to find out.
Yeah, you know, I'm definitely going to pick this up day one because I am invested in Garu. I've wanted to fucking know the next part of this story for 26 years. So I'm going to play the game. Like, this is like my personal Kingdom Hearts. So like, yeah. So like, I'm going to play it and I'll give you guys my final thoughts on it. But right now, I have to be honest. If you want something different from the normal fighting games and something with a little bit more thought, if you want, I hate to say this, if you want the thinking man's fighting game, you're gonna want to pick this up. You really will. You like this game is up there with like Grand Blue Fantasy Versus in like how like gritty and like tense the neutral can feel. Like it's really cool like that. But you know, otherwise, this is like a Discord fighter. There's just too many things that that right now feel archaic and bad. Like, I can't really recommend it. Well, so I hope that this beta was an opportunity for them to polish things up, but I don't really know because this game is slated to release in 3 months. This game is on the bill for Evo, on the main stage at Evo, on the main stage
Really?
at DreamHack.
Yeah.
Like this game has like
Yeah, they're not gonna change a whole lot. In a
this game
couple
has
months.
shit in it. So like, you know, there's a lot, right? Like I don't think this game, if it ships in the stage that it's in, and they don't speed things up a little bit, this game is going to be dead on year 2.
Yeah, if everybody plays it in the biggest fighting tournaments of the year and it just runs kind of clunky or just doesn't feel good, then like it's gonna kill it.
Yeah. So
earlier than expected.
Yeah, and it's gonna be very sad because it's a really good game. It's just the problems with it are purely networking and menu UI based, really.
Yeah. Okay. Still worth checking out, but we'll see how the popularity wheel turns.
Exactly. Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. I loved it. You might not. We're gonna go into a break and then into new games. But right before that, I'm going to give a quick, because I didn't get to play this one too intensively, but we're gonna go into some quick impressions on Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Now, like I said, I don't have a lot to say about this. It's good. Is it Mario Kart? Your mileage may vary. I think this is a little too intense. Funny enough, like I think this is a little too hardcore for your average Mario Kart player. Like this isn't just like, you know, it plays simple. And like, or it pretends to be simple, I should say. It pretends to be simple with like only like 3 things that like really impact stats on like a base level, on like a car level. You're seeing the car customization right now for Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. But And it is pretty robust. All the things that are aesthetic and cosmetic about the game are very well done. There was a bunch of characters you could play as at launch. I'm playing as Dr. Eggman right now, and there was a lot of kart customization too, for what it's worth. The gameplay is very fun, very fluid. If you liked Team Sonic Racing or you like Sonic All Stars Racing Transformed, you're gonna love this. It's really fast. It's surprisingly fast. I want to say like this game feels faster than Mario Kart. Like you feel like you're going faster, which makes sense. It's Sonic.
Yeah, I feel like Mario Kart got a little heavier over the years.
Yeah, definitely. This game definitely feels lighter. Kind of. Depends on what kind of vehicle you pick. And while there is diversity in the vehicles, and there are 3 different types of vehicles, Drix, I played all the vehicles, and really what the crux of the gameplay comes down to is the perk system.
Oh. That doesn't sound like a racing game.
Yeah, so there's a perk system, and you essentially roll out with a loadout, and you start off with 2 slots, but you unlock 6 slots within 2 hours, and these pretty much dictate how you play the game, because these perks are things such as when you collide with another player, you take their rings and get a boost, or you're seeing the drift gauge. You have 3 levels of drift. You get a 4th level of drift. You can have timed drift to where you can release the CTR style release the drift when you get the meter for like an enhanced drift boost.
Okay. Yeah, I always love CTR.
Yeah, there's like a whole item that you could called a warp ring that you can enable through the loadouts, and it puts the warp ring into the item boxes. Like there's a lot that you could do. Like you could hold you normally could hold 2 items. You could get a perk that lets you hold 3. Like yeah. There's a lot that you could do in Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. I think it's really fun in that way, especially when the intricacies of the driving are pretty good. You could since there's only one drift button, you can actually reverse drift and then change the trajectory of your drift. It's very cool if you could pull it off.
Nice.
But one of the things, Drix, is that, man, the learning curve for this game is brutal.
Wow. It's not something you hear often for like a, arcade style racer.
Yeah, and it might just be because this was like a network test kind of thing, but it took me a while to figure out exactly what kind of loadout was like a winning loadout. And not only did it take me a while to figure out exactly what kind of loadout was a winning loadout, it took me a while to realize that I need to kind of create a play style.
Oh, yeah. You're not quite building a deck of cards, but yeah, that's kind of cool. To me, that was really fresh and interesting.
It does.
Cartoony kind of racing game. Carts.
I was very surprisingly impressed. And you're seeing it on the screen right now. You have this Sonic All Stars Racing Transformed. I thought that track transition mechanic was going to be a lot cooler than it felt. It didn't feel as cool, but it doesn't really matter because the racing is just rock fucking solid. You are going at 1,000,000 miles an hour in a defined play style that you really chose yourself. That at least that's what it feels like. By the end of the run, Drix, I had tried a play style where I was purposefully running into every other racer on the track to get boosts. I had tried a play style. I had tried the CTR style play style, and I had tried yeah, right. I had tried an all-out offense play style where I had just spec my car to just always have offensive weaponry.
Yeah, that's what'll benefit you the most. That's really cool, actually. To me, that's intriguing. Having to have a strategy decided before you even start the race based on your build, that's like way too like Armored Core or like
Yeah.
you know, EVE Online space game than what you would expect.
It
You know, we've come a long way from Sonic R, really.
Oh, 100%. It feels very rewarding too, and this kind of feels like I feel like this is kind of the culmination of what these Sonic racing games were trying to be. Because if you played Sonic Team Sonic Racing, the last one, you would understand that while the game isn't great single player, it's awesome multiplayer, and it kind of had the same thing going on. You and your other two teammates really needed to have a strategy in order and in defined roles in order to figure out who was going to lead the pack, who was going to manage the middle of the pack, and who was going to back up the guy that manages the middle of the pack. So it really was tactical, and they kind of condensed all of those things into one character in this game, and it felt really good to play. Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, Drix, was what this beta really turned me on to this game. I'm really, really excited for it now.
Awesome. Yeah, hearing about it from you has got me in about the same position. Definitely want to check this one out.
Yeah, because you're seeing like the loadout screen right now. You know, you got quick drifts, and you could change it on the fly between your like the lobby, the Mario Kart Wii style lobby. You know what I mean? Like you've got this game feels great to play. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was really fun. I'm looking forward to the full release, and I really can't wait to see the single player content.
Sweet. Yeah, hopefully all Green Hill zones ahead.
Yeah, seriously. And you know what? We're going to take a quick break. Show might run a little long tonight, but we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back right at you with some new releases for the week. We got to talk about the new releases. They're big. And then Drix is going to come back, and he's going to tell you all about his time at the Steam Next Fest.
Yeah. But till then, I'm going to hit you with some Green Hill Zone after the mention of it.
Sounds great. Thanks for tuning in to CFM Radio. We'll be back.
Go for it, man!
in heaven. Stay alive. Now you and me. We're going to have fun. Say, lights off. Hi, Excalibur. It's about that part. What do you mean? Give it a taste. Going home. Time zone. Check it out, eh? Live alone. Leather legs. Getting in place. What do you get? Say, fat jet. Zoom room. Cosmic zoom. That's up, Jay. It's Sonic Boom. To the Sonic Warrior. To the Sonic Warrior.
all depends on your skill.
It all depends on your skill, but if you try, you can do anything. It is CFM Radio. We are back.
Yeah, I had to close out with a little Sonic set there. That was from Sonic CD, a song called You Can Do Anything with Casey Rankin and Keiko. Sounds like the poke rap guy. I don't know.
Right, dude? That totally sounds like a poker rap guy.
I love the whole minute and a half of that song. It's good Sonic right there.
Hey, you know what? Quick song, solid banger for just perfect speed for Sonic. Like,
Yeah, great for the introduction of your favorite Saturday morning cartoon. Minute and a half anime intro.
but you know what, Drix? We can't keep living in the future like this. We got to live in the present. We got to stick to now. And because you know what? We got games coming out this week.
Oh yeah, every week. Even if we don't have a lot of news headlines to share with you guys, we got to get you those new releases and keep you up to date on what's happening, what's going on, and what you can play this week.
Video game news.
The little bit of video game news that we have is the new releases. And Drix, the first one is one that's a little bit special to me. Because first up, it is the Yu-Gi-Oh! Early Days Collection.
Nice. Yeah, which includes your stream game, Forbidden Memories, right?
It does not.
No. Damn. No, it's the Game Boy ones.
Yeah, these are all the Game Boy
Dark
ones.
Duel Stories. Never mind.
Oh, dude, yes, Dark Duel Stories. Like,
I see a Yugi, I can't tell the difference.
hey, you know what? Dark Duel Stories, you got it. You nailed it.
Yeah, I did play that one a good amount.
So, from the Steam page, quote, Yu-Gi-Oh! Early Days Collection is packed with classic Yu-Gi-Oh! Games from the very early days of dueling, bursting with retro RPGs and strategic card games with beloved anime characters. Yu-Gi-Oh! The Early Days Collection releases tomorrow, Thursday, February 27th. And Drix, this is the first time anybody outside of Japan is going to be playing the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters for the Game Boy.
Yeah, it's exciting, actually. Yeah, great pixel art and some, grandpas of the fandom strategies.
Absolutely. And hey, you know what? Okay, so here's the thing. This game's getting lambasted in reviews. And you know what? I don't really blame the reviewers for not, quote unquote, getting it. And there is, as if there is anything to get with these Yu-Gi-Oh! Games. But the magic, really, really, with this collection is seeing the game go from like a weird abstract conceptualization of the card game and then watch, like, literally playing it as it evolves into the card game.
Yeah, that's crazy. So it was kind of more of a manga and then like a TV show before the cards really hit the scene, huh?
Yeah, because Kazuki Takahashi, when he was originally thinking of the game, he was actually thinking of a trading card game version of Dungeons and Dragons.
That makes a good amount of sense, especially with like the art style.
Yeah, oh yeah. And so it's, like I said, for a long time, those games, like the first games, like Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories is the ones that I was streaming, was actually a really good example of like how they were just like, I don't really know what this game is really supposed to be, so let's just make our own take on it.
Yeah, right? It's a lot of the rules don't really line up sometimes, even growing up watching the TV show versus like playing the game.
Yeah, very different.
What even is this?
And it's cool. I think it's going to be cool for any fan who wants to have that experience of seeing the games as they were grow into the game that we all know and love today.
Yeah, cool. Game preservation.
Absolutely.
History lesson, so learn your roots.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Early Days Collection, that's tomorrow, Thursday, February 27th. And all right, Drakes, I'm done talking about that because we all know what the big one is. It's Monster Hunter Wilds.
Ooh, yeah. Can't wait to add this one to my collection and start hunting with and without friends. Get my gun lance going again.
Hell yeah. And this is from the Steam page, quote, the unbridled force of nature runs wild and relentless, with environments transforming drastically from one moment to the next. This is the story of monsters and humans and their struggles to live in harmony in a world of duality.
Oof.
That's good copy right there.
It absolutely is.
That's marketing, baby.
Absolutely. That is some buzz words.
Oof.
Monster Hunter Wilds releases this Friday, February 28th on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series consoles. You got to upgrade those PS4s, guys.
It's about time. Yeah, there's already Monster Hunter games you can still play on your PS4.
That are incredibly active.
Yeah, still, that's one of the most beautiful things about the Monster Hunter community. I'm sure if you could get like your PSP online, there'd still be people playing it.
I bet you they're playing that shit through ad hoc. Like,
yeah, there's a way. They're still playing those.
And those are the new releases for the week. We will be right back with a quick break. Hendrix is going to tell you all about the Steam Next Fest.
Oh yeah, or what I got around to anyway.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, it's going to be a two-parter.
Yeah, to be continued. But to continue this song right now, I'm playing some Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's. Wheelie Breakers is the name of the song.
Hell yeah!
The Wii, or no, the name of the song is Race 2, but Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D Wheelie Breakers.
Great game.
CFM Radio.
We'll be back.
chase till the minute I win it. A beautiful face till there's love for me in it. Give me your heart and baby I'll bin it. 'Cause I always kill the things I love. Some folk would die for the sake of another.
CFM Radio. We are back, and God, we hope you subscribed and gave us a like.
Yeah, that was a song from L.A. Noir called, in parentheses, I Always Kill the Things I Love, featuring the Real Tuesday Weld.
And damn, L.A. Noir, banger game. I know it's kind of cheesy. I know there's a little bit of wonkiness in the gameplay, but you know what? That game just has so much charm and so much goddamn soul. Like,
Yeah. I mean, imagine making facial expressions an entire mechanic in your game. Innovative technology, really.
hey, you know, it didn't work out that great. It kind of ended up really wonky looking, but hey, the technology, it's worth checking out. Like,
Yeah. Whether you hit or you miss, you did something new.
you did something new. But you know what? We're going to talk all new because Drix, he checked out some stuff at the Steam Next Fest. And one of the things here that he checked out was that little turn-based RPG that we're going to drop up on the screen right now.
Yeah. I don't know if it's. I don't think it's Malachi. I think it's Maliki, Poison of the Past. And this has got some pretty good RPG vibes going into it. I mean, some of the visuals, like the 2D ones specifically, are like, oh, like, is this anime? Like, it's kind of cute. Is this somebody's DeviantArt page or something? But it's also got these really cool and like really smooth 3D visuals. Some pretty cool character designs. When you're moving around in fights or like on the map, you kind of have this like, you know, for better or worse, like Funko Pop looking characters. But they're cool, and it's all very cute, very, very wholesome, and like I can't really fully give it like the anime game brand because it's a little bit more unique, a little bit more like Craig of the Creek or like Adventure Time.
Okay, cool.
It's a little bit more like modern Cartoon Network, at least in the animation and the art style and stuff. But boy, did this one kind of like grow on me like pretty quick. Because you've got like some very solid like turn-based action going on here. Some pretty heavy decisions. A little bit about the story. You more or less get isekai'd into a world between times. Because the poison of the past, which I'm sure is some kind of metaphor for something, or like some kind of hyperbole, but didn't get too into the details in the demo with the story, but pretty much explained a lot of the mechanics. And this game has a lot to offer. If you want to play something kind of cute, kind of cozy, yeah, this is going to be right up your alley because the RPG bits of it, like, it's got a fun grind enough. There's pretty much like 4 like elements and like some status effects and like, you know, Pokemon style rock, paper, scissors, this versus that. That's all fun and good, but you also get a little bit of like Harvest Moon, a little bit of like crafting and gathering and stuff, a little bit of like tool.
Okay.
Yeah. See, I played as 2 different characters in the demo, and they have let's just say time-based abilities where like one character, it's all kind of fun, like almost Rick and Morty pseudoscience that they kind of play off of in the story. It's like, oh no, time works like this, but also nature, and it's very, very heavily nature centered in the story. And you know, kind of like the Monster Hunter new release we just talked about. It's like, you know, a world of duality, and you just got to try to find balance in it, you know. So it's pretty cool. You get sort of these chrono powers, time-based things where if you go to a new area, you can sort of speed up and slow down moments in time because it's like it's frozen into place. It probably didn't get the best B-roll for some of the cool stuff that you get to do, like when you're exploring. You know, you hit the tree and then you control time, and then you move it up or down. You put it in like just the right place to get to the next area. Lots of cool monster designs.
Vector was saying before the show that the monsters look like Sid's evil toy creations from Toy Story.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. There is poison coming from the past. It is infecting things, and you're in this new world, and you need to kind of clean things up. Your poor main character, she just kind of shows up and is like, who are you? Why am I here? And they're like, no, you don't understand. You're here to save everyone and everything and restore balance to the Force or whatever. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, you just if you're watching the B-roll, you just saw your character get isekai'd right there. Now she's meeting Maliki proper. You know?
Yeah. So, of course Maliki seems really nice at first, but it's like, who knows where the story could go from here. I'm sure she's got a couple secrets up her sleeve. But yeah, fun, cute little wholesome game. You get a little bit of the cozy farming of things, so you can craft stuff while you're also out there doing the real, RPG grind and having like your turn-based fights and more or less exploring outdoor dungeons and trying to restore balance to nature and the like. So I'm actually really enjoying this demo, getting towards the end of it. There's also your other character who kind of reminds you of Luca from Chrono Trigger. He has the ability to like what was the science term? He's like, I'm gonna use quantum entanglement. I'm gonna get this hay bale over here. I'm gonna use my quantum entanglement ray, and I'm gonna move it over next to this other bigger hay bale to make like a platform and stuff. And I was like, all right, like this is cool. Even if you are just kind of doing stuff that we may or may not have seen in other kind of RPGs, like the way they kind of do it is like, cute, wholesome, refreshing. And definitely, I was kind of bitten. I was kind of bitten by the Malachi poison of the past bug. So yeah, I might check this out, see where this RPG goes, where this tale between time takes me.
It looks pretty interesting. It definitely looks pretty cool. And you know what? From the way it sounds, listen, I don't hear very many cozy games or games that are action RPGs, turn-based action RPGs described as cozy. So like, there looks like there's a fair bit of action, and if it still manages to capture that wholesome style vibe, then that sounds like a great game to look forward to. Sounds like something that I personally don't really know a comparison point. Like what, Harvest Moon, I guess, Rune Factory, like.
yeah, either of those, but with a bit more I don't know, story presence and depth, and a bit of that like environmental, like eco-friendly kind of tale. Like let's not destroy nature because it's got its own power and might wipe you out if you give it the chance.
All right, well, damn that. Hey, you know what? That sounds like something to look forward to. I definitely want to check it out, especially after checking out all this stuff. I do love the 3D aesthetics. The 2D aesthetics definitely are very CalArts reminiscent, but I really can't get enough of this 3D. Like almost like woodcraft. They all look like little dolls. It looks great.
Yeah, actually, and like a good cool way. They have enough details, enough character designs. You can kind of, something I hear and have been saying a lot is you could recognize good character designs if you know who they are just based on the silhouette. And I think a lot of these characters have that, or it's like, even if you just saw their shadow, you'd be like, oh, that's who that is. You recognize them. It's different.
I agree. You could tell right now, like the main character's hair, right? Look at that. Like,
yeah, exactly. Especially when in your chibi style, your body silhouette consists mostly of head, then like the hair makes a big difference.
Well, that looks awesome. That's a Maliki, Poison of the Past. This is something that you can check out right now over on Steam at the Steam Next Fest. And Drix, we're running a little late on the show. Was there any other games that we wanted to mention really quick before we took off for the night, or did you want to save them for next week?
I'll give a little taste of at least what caught my eye, and I'll probably if I'm gonna play something and talk about it next week, the Souls-like option is gonna be Kazan, the first Berserker, just because it looks beautiful, and I feel like I've seen some kind of ads or just I've heard about this online enough that like it's piqued my interest. Somebody targeted me in their ads, and I'm like, okay, what is this? What is this about?
Just another really pretty. This one kind of leans more into the anime aesthetic, but really pretty Souls-like game. And another more topical conversation piece is Among Us 3D.
Whoa!
Yeah, that was featured on the Next Fest. So curious to see where that goes. I have the demo downloaded and installed, so I might have to suss that one out.
Absolutely. Hey, you know what? Who doesn't love Mogus every once in a while, right?
Bogus. Let's get it. Let's see.
I'm wondering what the 3D. I wonder what the 3D is going to add to it. That's definitely literally and figuratively a new dimension. So
yeah, like now it's a real immersive horror experience. I mean, it looks kind of almost cell shaded, cartoony, but like that could put you in a real like fun comic book world. You know, like they really took the game out of the Flash dimension. You know.
Hey, you know what? That can't be that can be a good or a bad thing. So I guess we'll hear more about it next week.
Yeah, exactly. Might have to check that one out and get back to you on the next CFM Radio.
Absolutely. And I think, guys, with that, because I've still got to take a look at a lot of these Steam Next Fest games. So we'll see what I honestly, I was actually thinking about Kazan the First Berserker 2, because that's also on PS5. So
yeah, right? It's like at least I can get a nice little demo and check it out.
Absolutely. But guys, I think that's where we're going to end it. Next week we'll have some more Steam Next Fest. We'll have our final thoughts on that. What we liked, what we got time for. Like I said, you know, there's just so many of them in there. So, thank you for watching. We hope to see you guys next week. Make sure you tune in. Twitch.tv/CFM on Twitch. This Monday. It's RPG Theater. WrestleQuest.
Oh, yeah. We're going to be dungeoning.
Another big dungeon. I can't wait. The last big dungeon was fucking awesome.
Yeah. We're going to get get our faction buddies together and take our wrestling promotions to the next level. Chairs will be thrown.
Hell
Smack
yeah.
will be
Promos will be cut.
Yep.
And we will also return on Tuesday with more The Grind Live Marvel Rivals. Like I said, we gotta tighten up and do better. It's gonna be all right. It'll be okay. We're gonna get there, guys. Don't worry. But that is all next week, everybody. Thank you for joining us. CFM Radio. We love you all.
Our casually long show tonight. And
Yeah.
Thank you for stopping by and enjoying, our thoughts on these games. We have a good time.
Thanks for
Let me
sticking
know if you have
around.
any requests. Vector got a really good request in with our Garu Mark of the Wolves song. That song was awesome. I'm going to keep listening to that one.
Hell yeah, that song is a banger. And we hope you guys loved all the bangers that we played tonight. We hope you guys tried out some of these demos and some of these betas. We want to know what you guys think. And of course, as always, never, ever, ever hesitate to drop comments, requests. Please. We love them.
Yes, we hope to hear from you very soon.
Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Till next time.